Hello and welcome to In the Pocket. My name's Jonny.
And my name's Chris.
Two totally average bass players, and we're here to talk all about that bass. As well as answering your questions at home, each week we take a look at the latest news, maybe bring down some tones, all to give you the lowdown on the low end. Wow, I've really gone rogue on this intro this time. That was good.
This is broadcasting.
That was good, wasn't it? I like it when people throw something different in there.
Did you hear that then? Is that you or me?
Myself.
Did you hear like a really big 60 cycle hum thing then? I did.
No, I didn't hear anything.
Ooh. Well, we'll see what that was. Interesting.
Well, in the edit, we'll see if that comes out, and if so, we'll amplify it by 10.
Absolutely. Well,
Chris, my dear, welcome.
Hello.
Returning guest Chris Horrocks to this podcast. How
permanent returning guest Chris Horrocks. Thanks so much for having me. I'm exhausted. Is the short answer at this? I'm so worn out. This is attempt 2 at the podcast for this week, isn't it? We tried a few days ago and encountered. Well, I was fine. Yeah, someone else encountered some severe technical issues, and we had to abandon the episode.
Technical issues and then temperament issues that quickly followed.
You were a grumpy little badger after all those technical problems.
Can you imagine me grumpy? Yes, it was not good. But hey, we're here now. We got there in the end. The vibes are better. Better vibes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In short, I'm exhausted. How are you?
Yes, wow. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I feel very busy, bass-related stuff. Not very gig busy, though. I've got a big one coming up. We're going to Ipswich for a gig. Not this weekend.
Oh, treat yourself.
I know. We're staying overnight as well, which is cool.
Oh, wow. I do apologise for the good people of Ipswich. Where's Ipswich? South of Birmingham?
No. It's up and to the right.
Up and to the right?
I think so.
What's up and to the right? I'm going to Google it.
Ipswich. Ipswitcher. Yeah. Whilst you do that,
Ipswitcher.
Whilst you do that, I'm going to talk to good people through what we've got in the podcast today. That kind of went into Scottish at the end.
Yeah, close.
So we do have some news items to talk about today that we'll get quickly into. Then I've brought along a tone for us to have a listen to, and big news. Chris and I have both got new rigs. We're going to take our shirts off now to show them off. No. New amps for the boys.
Well, I have been working out. But anyway, go on.
New amps for the boys. Same amps. We'll talk about it later on in the episode. But yeah, that's what we've got in store. So, Chris, where's Ipswich?
It's not up, mate. It's not even... It is aggressively right of you.
Just like me. No.
Yes, absolutely. Ipswich is all the way across, like Suffolk.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is super south of Birmingham. But
it's it's 4.5 hours for me and 3 hours and 47 for you. It's all the way over there. It's basically, I'm just going to say it's basically Norwich.
It's basically in Denmark, isn't it?
It's past Colchester.
Wow.
It involves you going around that big, horrible road around London.
Oh, the M25.
Yeah, the M25. Yeah, mate, that's ages. I'm not surprised you're staying over. Yeah. Did you hear that hum again? Because I just did.
Can you hear it now?
No.
Oh. Well, I was just knocking my cable, so it might have been that.
Oh, okay. No, it's a vroom thing.
A vroom.
Interesting. I don't know what caused that.
Should we harmonise it?
No, because this podcast is already a mess.
Come on.
Anyway, okay, to the good people of Ipswich, you live nowhere near me. Nowhere near. But that's cool. People, is that with the Foo Fakers?
It is. I think we're doing a double. It's festivals. We're doing 2 slots. We're doing Nirvana and Foo Fakers. So it'd be good. At the practice, I'm going to take along the Alpha. See how that goes down. See if it.
Oh, very nice.
Gig debut. for the Alpha, and probably going to take the Squier Sonic P bass. Honestly, why not? Just 3,500.
Just have some real contrast there. Absolutely. How does it feel knowing that you're going to drive to a gig with a bass that probably costs more than the car?
Well, actually, it won't. I'm afraid.
Oh, money bags.
Well, it's not my car. I'm going in a van.
Oh, okay. Still, yeah.
But it's worth a lot more than the whole band is getting paid for both sets, probably.
Probably, yeah. Oh, I've got a wedding at time of release, but you will be at Burn It Down, won't you? This weekend? Yeah. One of us will be.
Yeah, can't wait to see you there playing. It's going to be great.
Yeah, in spirit. Well, I'll be on track.
Yes, you are everything I hate. What have you become?
I should probably explain to the dear listener. I mentioned it briefly on Instagram, but I'm no longer in my band Darla. Neither is the guitarist. I'm not going to go into it on here because I don't want to slag people off or anything like that. But we're not in the band anymore. 2/3 of the band are not in the band anymore. But the gig at Burn It Down, which will be happening within 30 minutes of this podcast going live, I think we're on about 2:00 on Saturday, today, is going ahead. Jay, our guitarist, will be there, and then he's going to leave, and Danny will be continuing the band on without us. But I chose, because of the immense travel and cost involved, it was agreed that I will not do the gig. Because
it's not like we bought tickets because you were playing or anything.
Well, that's too bad, minute. But because of that, and we couldn't be bothered asking someone to play bass, I will be there audibly, but not in person.
Oh my god, best prank!
I'm coming to you live by WeTransfer.
You should retrack it, but with your voice. Boom, bum, 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 bum. So you're just coming over the PA. It's Chris. Nice.
Yeah. So I'm on track, baby.
On track. Well, speaking of being on track,
which we aren't.
Let's get this podcast back on track because I want to talk about the latest news, baby. Can I please, Chris, tell you about a little company called Sterling by Music Man?
You can tell me about a small independent company called Sterling by Music Man. Yes.
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but they have released a brand new budget range of Stingrays, the Intro Series Stingray, or the Ray 2, as they seem to be calling it in some places. So this is essentially a stripped-down Stingray, bare bones, just, no nonsense, no preamp Stingray for people, for the budget conscious at home. They've got it in this misty green, a black finish, sunrise orange. I'd say it's more of a sunset orange myself, and electric blue. Some other things to note: it's got a 40mm nut width, which I think a traditional Stingray is like 43, I think, or 42. So it's a little bit slimmer, but not as slim as the Ray. Like I said, no preamp. So this is, let me just double check what kind of pickup it is. Oh, where's it gone? Where has it gone?
Pickups, ceramic humbucker.
Oh, well done. There it is. The ceramic. I couldn't remember if it was Alnico or ceramic. So it's a single ceramic humbucker. Yeah. I imagine this is all based on the positive feedback they've had about, the Chodar, the Pete Wentz, where they've been doing more and more passive Stingrays, and people have gone, yeah, we like this. So they thought, why don't we do a version even cheaper than the Ray 4 and offer it this way? I think it's a brilliant idea. Yeah, really, really cool. The only thing that I don't think is very cool is their photography. What is this?
It's not the best.
I mean, this looks great. These pictures are lovely, but that looks so naff. They do this all the time. It just looks so gaunt. and like no life in it.
Doesn't really encourage one to make a purchase, does it?
That doesn't. No, this does.
No,
nice.
No, yeah. The passive's cool. I would rock a passive Music Man because I don't use the preamp ever really on mine. I'll sometimes roll the treble down and the mids up, but
wow, so anti Stingray.
Yeah, but I tend to find though, like if you take the treble down a little bit, but absolutely gun the mid range, it's really good for like cover band bass. You know, where it's like you're just getting it out of everyone's way and just being like nice big low end, but at the same time, wherever that mid range sits on the actual tone control of the mid range, it just sits in a good place. I think it's quite a lower mid. It boosts. I think it's somewhere in the 300 to 500 range, which isn't somewhere you'd normally want to push. But on stage, it seems to be quite a good idea. Sounds like crap on its own. Like when you just play on your own sat at home, you think, God, this is horrible. But if you're just trying to be a team player, really, I tend to find it's quite helpful.
To me, it sounds like you're the kind of guy that would just like absolutely boost the mids on his Stingray and scoop the hell out of a P bass. Just like try and make one the other,
and vice versa. Absolutely. Oh yeah, but I've had it where I've gigged with the Stingray, and even without boosting the treble, people have gone, it's really bright. Like, but you have to remember, bright by rock band standards is not bright by wedding band standards. Like,
yeah, they're thick.
I need to like get out of the way of things and just be nice big low end. Also, I've been sat on this pun on this electric blue colour. I've been sat in my head has just been singing over and over again while you've been talking. She's electric, can I be electric blue? Because all I've done is think about Oasis since they decided to get back together.
So this is the colour you'd go for then?
Yeah, she's electric, can I be electric blue? No, I wouldn't actually. I'd go for the green personally.
100%. The green is the one for me now.
We've got these new blue Stingrays.
Blue, electric blue. It is the colour of my room. Blue. Beautiful. Yeah, interesting choice for colours. I don't know why they didn't go for like all black on that one or something.
Yeah, really nice. And all of them be maple. Like a Stingray just looks way cooler with a maple fretboard.
Yeah,
so much cooler.
I agree, definitely. They've got a satin finish on the neck, and I was trying to remember it's got a weird fingerboard material. That's it. It's called
Amaranth.
Amaranth. That is
the
insane metal band. Yeah, no, that's a metal band name right there.
Yeah. Why have they named the fingerboard out of a online Instagram personality that did a lot of stuff on Twitch in a hot tub? Interesting.
Did they finger a board? Is that why?
Not on that platform. Anywho, moving on.
Anyway, yes. What do you think these are priced at?
And I'm gonna guess $250.
Ooh. I'm just gonna double check the price of a Ray 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So,
what's the Ray 4 cost?
Oh wow! So this is interesting. Brand new right now from retailer right now. You can get a Ray 4 for £400.
Not a bad deal. And I don't know much about the Ray 4. Is the Ray 4 passive or active?
Active. It's the one that I've got. It's
great deal.
Like
great deal. Yeah.
Most basic Stingray that they do.
Okay. £400. Amazing.
This is £350.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, right?
Because what's the point?
I think it's too much. Like,
yeah, if you were going to spend £350, why would you not save up a little bit more, spend £50 and get the active version? However, though, does the Ray 4 come with like the satin neck and those other things? Like, is it a case of this actually has better build quality features, but it's passive, and that's the trade-off?
I don't know. That's what I really want to know. I'm hoping to get my hands on one of these to give it a review. Like, it looks... I haven't compared them exactly spec-wise, but I'm going to do a little comparison between the two so we can see and hear, what is worth it and what isn't worth it. So go and subscribe to Jonny Dibble on YouTube to hear about that very soon. But yeah, I was quite shocked at that price. I thought, to call it the intro series and passive, that seems like it would need to be cheaper. But like you say, unless it's literally just the preamp that's gone, maybe, but strange. Very strange.
Yeah, that's a very strange one. I would have thought get that under 300, absolutely. Ideally in the 200 to 300 range, because that's entry level. I think for someone's first bass, 400 quid's quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And even 350 is like. Thing is, I think what we're going to see, and maybe the reason why this one is 350. Is so that they are sneakily bumping up the price of the Ray 4.
Maybe.
With the next release, the next batch of them, I think we'll see creep up in price. And so that the bar of affordable bass is going up. And, Squires, they're going to start being 400, 450. That's my kind of prediction where we're going. But I
hope you're wrong, but I think you're right, unfortunately.
Yeah. I hope so. But they might be being cheeky bums. So who knows? Speaking of cheeky bums, let's move on to the next piece of news, which is Fender have done something quite unexpected. This is an article from Bass Magazine saying that you can now purchase certified pre-owned basses from Fender on Reverb. So they've teamed up with Reverb to offer affordable pre-owned basses that I'm just reading a little bit here, has been professionally inspected and backed by the world's leading guitar manufacturer. All right, Fender.
I know, yeah. I was going to say that's a bold claim. I mean, they're probably right.
It is probably true, but
I mean, it's them and it's between them and Gibson, and it's definitely not Gibson. So,
I don't quite know how people are getting these basses, like how a Fender getting hold of them, where are you selling them to get them. Not sure, but it is a good way of getting something, come in, set up, it checks it all works. You get that security of like getting a B stock instrument, when it all works, it's just been used.
Yeah, or like refurbed from the manufacturer.
Yeah, and I do wonder, does it have to meet certain criteria in terms of condition and all that? Could you send in something that don't work and then they fix it up? I don't know. But I did think this was interesting that they would start to branch out into this. Does this mean anything? What are sales like? I don't know. Interesting. If you have a look on their Reverb right now, there's nothing. There's no... hang on. There's no listings, but there's feedback. Oh, what's this?
How does that work? Is it just they've sold out of what they've got, though?
Potentially, yeah. Look, these are all super recent.
Oh, okay. So it's probably a case of, pre-owned jazz bass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fender Mustang bass. Yeah. Strat. Yeah.
Sorry, hang on.
What?
Pre-owned Player 2. That's brand new.
Oh, maybe they just didn't like it.
Wow, fair enough.
Wow, excellent communication and shipping the same day as my purchase. I should hope so. Wow. It's Fender.
Yeah.
So it's just some random guy walking down to an Amazon locker.
This is good for people wanting to buy something that isn't new, that isn't going to cost an arm and a leg, and have the security, because you're buying from Fender. Great. I guess it's not so good if... Well, I can't really think of the downsides of it, really.
I don't think you're going to get like a great deal out of Fender. I feel like Fender are going to go, well, it's come from us, so it's not good. You've got that peace of mind of we're arguably the biggest manufacturer in the world. So when here's it a little bit cheaper than retail. It's not going to be like Jeff in his shed who just wants to get rid of it, and you can get a nice Telecaster for 200 quid. It's not going to be like that, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, very
true.
Can
you imagine haggling with Fender on Reverb?
It's just declining offers. No. Yeah, and I suppose like some people, do not like buying secondhand online, and there is risk that comes with it from different platforms that you use. So this is of course a secure way of doing it, but like you said, it definitely will come with that premium price for a used bit of gear. I'd really like to. I wish they had something on there so that we could see the price,
and compare it to like the same product listed by someone else, because they'll not be the cheapest. I don't think.
No, I don't think so. It's a shame we can't see past. Oh no! I thought we could see things that have been sold. No, you can't.
No, you can't, can you?
That's a shame. Oh well, but yeah.
Oh well.
Pretty cool nonetheless. Let's stay in Fenderland right now, and we're going to stay on Bass Magazine, friends of the show. They are now. Cobalt Chrome.
Today's episode is sponsored by.
Wow, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
That would be nice if you're listening.
Fender have released new Cobalt Chrome bass pickups. I think you brought these to my attention, actually.
I did, because I saw them on... I think I saw them on a YouTube short, of all places.
Oh, lovely.
The dark horse of short form content.
Yeah, all right, Grandad.
Yeah, you're telling me.
I saw it on Facebook.
I saw it on MySpace.
I'm just going to say, if you are at home right now and you share things unironically to your Facebook story,
oh God, yeah, that's
stop listening.
Have a word with yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. I had mine linked, so when I posted on my Instagram, it posted on my Facebook story as well. But then if someone replied to my Facebook story, it would like go into my Facebook Messenger and like just mess it up, basically.
Jam it up.
Yeah, and also people I just didn't want to talk to were replying on there, so I thought, no, never mind. I'm going to keep that separate.
Not for me.
And posting to Facebook with the hopes of engagement is a very, very dead horse.
Unless it's like a vaguely racist, like AI-generated image, engagement's not going to get you there.
No, that's Twitter, that one, mate. Yeah. Twitter's the place for right-wing memeage.
God, just cesspits, a lot of them. Anyway... Let's talk about nice things, shall we?
Yeah, talk to me about these lovely, nice pickups that I sent you, because I think they look lovely.
They are very cool. I think they look just right in the right bass, I think it would be cool if they came in like gold as well. That'd be cool. Anyway, these are voiced by Tim Shaw, and they unlock the full tonal potential of your precision bass, or jazz bass, or PJ bass. It's basically a blend of a F-E, the spelling is right here, F-E-C-R-C-O. I don't know how you say that. Furcoco. What do you call me?
Yeah, exactly.
That magnet, and bring a new voice and attitude to your instrument. What do you think about the sound of these?
Well, I watched the video on Fender's YouTube channel of them going through them, and I just thought they sounded just fine. No, they described them as like being kind of not high output, but not low output. I think they've gone for like a kind of, this is like an all-rounder pickup. Like they've not deliberately gone, this is like the quarter pounder, and it's like super contemporary and really hot. But I liked it. I quite liked. They said, I fast forwarded as well to the PJ section, because that's what kind of intrigued me first. And if I remember correctly, they said something like, the issue with some PJ sets is the J bridge pickup can't really compete on its own with the P pickup, so you end up getting a nice P pickup sound, a rubbish bridge sound, because it's too weak to compete with like the grunt of a P bass pickup, and then in the middle it either sounding great and not good soloed, or there was almost no point having the J to begin with. So they kind of showed the J sounds good, the P sounds good, and then when you put them together, that sounds good too. There's not like a sudden jump in volume, or anything like that. I was really impressed. I thought they sounded really good.
Nice, yeah. And they some more of their features here. Apparently, the whole reason for this kind of silver casing is that it shields it a bit more, and so you don't get any 60 cycle hum, which is very nice. They're kind of like, noise cancelling, if you like, pickups, which is cool. They say that the magnets give you a clearer kind of hi-fi style tone. Not necessarily my sound that I look for, but when they were demoing a finger style, it sounded really, really nice. What else is interesting? Can you see on this picture, they've got little grooves in them, in the magnets.
They have.
That's because every pole piece is, you can change the height of it. So it's totally adjustable. So if you've got, if you're playing really hard on the E string and not very hard up here on the other strings, you can lower or raise, each magnet pole piece to your liking, to your style. So that's a really cool feature.
And that is something I've done to pickups, not to pole pieces, but I've had to do it with pickups where I'm just hitting the E string. I've had it where I'm hitting the E string too hard to the point where it's hitting the pickup sometimes. So I've needed to lower that section of the pickup to compensate. So that's a nice little feature, very nifty. I like that.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I'm just going to look at the price quickly.
Oh yeah, please do, because I was considering a purchase.
This is for your use, if anything else. Okay.
Okay, what are we talking?
Yeah, kind of average. For looking at Thomann, for the P bass set, it's £170.
Not bad.
The jazz bass set is £205.
Okay.
And then the PJ is £204.
Okay.
Kind of random, but
that's not bad.
That's kind of what I'd imagine for that. So that's not anything too wild.
Can't complain with that. I'm just looking at the prices of some other competitors quickly. I mean, 205 was it for the it was for those. Geezer Butler EMG set PJ. It's apparently 150 on GAC, give or take. Giffy Music 155. Let's just go for like the quarter pounder or something like that. No, not quarter pounder deluxe. It's cheaper than a quarter pounder set. Quarter pounder set will do you for about anywhere between $220 and $250.
The quarter pounders do come with fries though, so
very, very nice. I see what you did there.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I like these, and I'm in the market for some new PJ pickups. So, and these look super cool. So I might put them in my coolest bass. That sounds the worst.
Oh, I know which one you
know
mean.
Which one I'm talking about.
Yeah. That would suit that bass, to be fair.
That really would.
Put a mirror guard on there.
Oh, no. I'm not doing that. I would actually, in all seriousness, I won't say what bass, but it is, but I'd like a white pick guard on that one.
Really? Controversial.
Yeah, kind of candy apple red, white pick guard, chrome hardware, chrome pickups. I probably won't.
An off-white to match the binding.
White, off-white, that kind of thing.
I would go black anodized.
Ooh.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Num.
Speaking of num-nums, the next and last piece of news that we have
these tangents are just like these segues.
They're getting out of hand, I'll be honest.
You're literally not even segueing. You're just saying, speaking of a word from your last sentence.
Some of them are. So we've had guests on, and I'm like, I better impress with a good segue. And they'll be like, yeah, and that was that. And I'll be like, well, speaking of that.
So then I lost my cat in a car accident. Well, speaking of your dead cat, here is... Wow. Anyway, go on. Talk to me about whatever this last thing is. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
It's
brand this
new.
Thing. Okay.
Come on. The brand new fretless Jack Cassidy Epiphone signature.
Yay.
Bass. What are you talking about?
I'm just not interested.
I don't play fretless. I don't dream of playing fretless, but even I'm excited by this.
I'm not.
These basses are really good. That's why I'm excited. It is essentially just the Jack Cassidy signature. People know it. People love it. In a new finish, this kind of nice look like honeyburst almost, and it's fretless. I think it's a great idea. Nice. It's about $799, I believe. It said somewhere $849. So not an insane price up on the original.
Not silly money for less frets, but more money.
Yes. So I think that's great. I don't really have too much to say as there's no massive differences. If I was in the market for a fretless, this would probably be the one, honestly. Like, super cool and a great excuse to have one. But I'm never, ever going to be a fretless guy. I'd like to, in the future, I've just said that, and I'm going to clip that and save it somewhere so that when I eventually become master of bass and, master the fretless, then I will watch that back and be like, oh, how far I've come. Wow. How naive I was.
But a humble Padawan.
Exactly. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, there we go. If you didn't know already, the fretless Jack Cassidy is out now. Any more comments before we move on?
I like the Jack Cassidy. I like the normal Jack Cassidy. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not having a go at that one. I just have no interest in fretless bass. Just no interest. That might change in the future. There's no reason to say that. I slagged off short scale basses for years, and now I want one. But yeah, I'm just not interested in a fretless bass. Like, it's not a sound that intrigues me enough to actually have one. I've messed around on one like twice and gone, not for me. But if you like fretlesses, I think fretless eye, this looks pretty good. Can't complain.
Yeah, good.
Moving on.
Good contender. Speaking of you and short scales, like, I would love to listen back. I feel like over this podcast, we've seen you mature into a short scale. Like an old man hunching down. Over time.
Well, I mean, probably when we started the podcast, I only gigged with an active jazz bass, an active Stingray, and shortly after bought a Dingwall. And now I only gig a 1989 P bass with old round wound strings.
and it did have flats on it for a while.
It did have flats for a long while, but though I have no flats bass as we speak. Oh. The flats are just in a cupboard. I don't have a gig where I need flats. Just don't have a... I might grab I don't know, it depends on the requirements, but I might get like a really cheap Squier P bass or like one of the cheaper Sire P basses. Yeah, something like that. And just put the flats on it. And then I'll put it in the cupboard out the way, and it'll be like, well, it's there when I need it. Because right now, just don't need flats in any way, shape, or form.
No. Well, that's fair enough.
No.
Should we move on to the next segment?
I think we should. Let's do that.
Amazing. For this segment, it's a returning segment. We haven't done it for ages. And I brought along a tone for us to listen to. I just was enjoying something in particular recently and wanted to show it off. I wanted to showcase it and just... It's not the best tone in the world. It's not like anything groundbreaking. I was just like, hey, I'm having a fun time with this. And I want to share it with my buddies. And my buddies being Chris and the silent people in the background listening to this. Because you're all my pals. Have you had a listen to this yet?
Yes.
Excellent. For all you audio listeners...
Chris, for those of you listening at home, Chris just lied to you.
Yes. Press X to doubt.
Yeah,
you could hear it in his voice.
That's a deep cut PlayStation 2 meme reference there.
Wow. PlayStation 2. Yeah.
Well, that's what I played LA Noire on.
Really? No, you did not.
No,
that's a PS3 game.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Xbox 360. I didn't have a PS3. No, I I changed brands for that generation and then went back to the PS4.
To be fair, most people did. I stuck it out.
Yeah.
The PS3 was a bit of a weird one.
But I'm not. I can't say I'll be buying a PS5 anytime soon. Mainly because it's the ugliest console ever by a long way.
It is a absolute monolith in my.
It's massive as well. And you can't put it on its side. It's horrible. Oh, have you got a PS5?
I have.
But you are a man of very poor taste, so that explains.
That is true. That is true. We'll go on a little tangent first before we listen to the tone.
Please do.
Flipping loving. We're playing Baldur's Gate 3 at the minute, Lily and I, and it is so good. There we go.
Is it as provocative as the internet implies it is?
Yes. Well, it didn't look like it for a while, and then all of a sudden, in our last 2 sessions, we've both done the sex with different members of the team, and all of a sudden, it's like the team's horniness has been dialed up. Like everyone wants me.
I see. Well,
yeah,
very well. I have not turned my PlayStation on this year, and that upsets me a lot because I love playing video games, and I've just not had the time. And then when I've had the time, I've sort of put that activity on a pedestal, which means I've not done it. Like, I got a few hours into The Witcher 3, and I was like, this is brilliant, really enjoying myself, and then just didn't play any of it. So, very keen to revisit that very soon, ideally. I own both God of War games, the newer ones. Haven't played either of them yet. Really want to.
You need to get on this.
I really do. I really do need to get on it. Right. Like a carb on it.
So good. So good. Let's have a listen to this tone now.
Very nice.
Wow. For those.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go. She put that at the start of every podcast.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. halfway through Sticky. Oh, what a day.
What a day. Beautiful. For those.
Tell me more about this tone.
I will if you bloody let me. That was just a tone I've been enjoying at the minute. And like I said, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's not crazy. It's not like doing anything weird, like wild, but it's a bit of a grindy P-bass tone that's tubey-ish, I'd say, naturally grinding, and then has kind of 2 stages of gain in it. So this signal chain is the Squier Sonic P-bass, so 130-pound bass, completely stock, going into the Jad Freer Audio Capo pedal.
Going into a pedal 4 times the cost of the bass itself.
Yep. These cost just under £500.
You just told me everything I need to know about you as a musician. Tone is in the hands. No, it's not, mate. It's in the pedal.
Yeah. I'll give you I'm looking forward to doing this. Is the first time I might put a reel out before this goes out about it. But like, these are great. These are really cool pedals. Obviously, heinous price. But essentially, what you've got is 3 preamps built in. You can just turn it on and off, and find the sound you want. It's a bit like an SVT with your deep and bright switch. And then you've got a side and a B side. The B side is just activates these two knobs here, which is gain and level. So you can have a boost or like turn it on as a drive. I think it is really nice game wise.
Oh, and did everything we hear then, was that just the pedal?
No. So that was then the tone I'm enjoying at the minute is going from the output into the dark glass element which has a cab sim, which is just a cab sim, and then that's what you're hearing.
Okay, because I was just, as soon as you pulled that up, I thought that's a very cabby DI tone you've got there.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yes. That's why it does have the cabby on it. And this does have DI out on it. But for that kind of thing with a bit of drive, that's what I kind of wanted. A lot of people, I call this it's the new Noble. You know, people are using
everyone. Yeah, every
Nashville
social media bass presence that isn't me seems to have one.
Yes,
everyone who plays bass in America seems to have one of these.
This is the country Nashville pedal board. It's this with a Cali 76.
And by the way, the this has got to sound really rude because this is Ian's pedal board, and I'm not saying Ian's got a bad pedal board, but it's like the basic Instagram white dude pedal board is a Cali 76, the capo, and a HX stomp.
100%.
And I'm mocking it, but there's that rig will be bomb proof. Like there's nothing you could do everything with that setup. So I'm not saying you can't do that. What I am saying is I have seen that configuration quite a lot on the internet now.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a man who owns a quad Cortex.
Yeah, like it's just a more look at mine, version of the quad Cortex where it's just everything built in, but the quad Cortex obviously does a lot more. But what is
it does a lot more, but the lots of extra things it does aren't necessarily things that you're like after. Like, how many bass players are after valve harmonic tremolo, or 8 different chorus effects? I will say that I hear that this has a lot of very impressive output controls. Like, has it got an effects loop as well and some other stuff? And
look at it. It's got 6 inputs, etc.
Wow.
So essentially,
is there an XLR output on the back as well?
There's 2.
There's 2.
So let me talk you through it. Essentially,
I already know this, but for the listeners, because I have looked into this. Go on.
This one is slightly different. I've got the other one here as well, the Tim Fave one, which is more of a
money bags over here.
I haven't bought them. This is
clout.
Yeah, right.
So we've got I didn't buy my pedal.
Well, it's on loan. Okay.
You'll edit that
out. We've got an input and an output standard.
Okay, yep.
And then we've got a post loop and a pre loop, essentially. So what this does, the pre loop, so you could put a compressor in there, anything you want to go before this and before the direct out. So like I would just put a compressor there, for instance. And then on the pre-loop, I'm going to put anything else there, like a drive or something like that. And then that will go to the preamp out. It's essentially so that you can have a DI box that has normal DI and a processed
like
DI
a processed
out.
Thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And that's why all these people are having them on their boards, because it sits as like the main thing, the motherboard in the pedal board that everything then feeds into and it comes out of here.
If you're a studio person, though, that's a really good idea, because you can give someone that clean DI that they may choose to do something with later, or you can have some processing and give them that, and then also you can have the effects loop, and you've got access to an effects loop on the side. So if you just have a pedal to mess around with, like for a YouTube video or something, you can just plug that in and off you go. Like, that's really cool. Like, I know it's easy to wince at that, going like, £500, but you're getting an awful lot there for your money, the £500. And it looks like it's quite well made.
Oh, it's absolutely really well made. And yeah, you're not. you're paying for quality. It's a small company, you know, it's all that comes with it, and it's just excellent sounding. I've kind of found the sound that I like and kind of build it around there. We're using the P bass, and that, you know, it sounded like that, and that was with a 130 quid P bass. And for that, I was getting a kind of not too in your face growly tone, so it sounded great. It's a bit, I would say, it's like a Noble DI that can drive, which the Noble classically cannot do.
No, and with some more routing options. Yes,
and more options. Yeah, absolutely. So,
well, it was a lovely tone. Yeah. Absolutely, I absolutely would not complain if that was my tone. Very good. You owned that tone.
I sure did. That's my thing at the minute. Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Speaking of tone,
yeah, let's move on, shall we?
Now that was a good one. Wow. Painfully obvious, but not a bad segue. Also, it doesn't work when you point it out.
Those are my favourite kind. Jokes that you have to explain as well. The best.
Yeah, even especially if they're not funny.
Yeah, and you just dig in yourself that hole deeper and deeper and deeper.
Absolutely.
Speaking of going deeper and deeper,
Kurt, well,
yeah, I was just going to let that one hang.
I saw a flicker in your eye. Then there was a mum joke building there. I felt it.
Oh.
Speaking of feeling your mum, shall we talk about our new bass rigs?
Let's do it. Let's do it. So the fine folk over at Ashdown,
yes,
have hooked the boys up with some new amps to play test on the road and just to use as their new full-time rigs. I have not yet gigged mine, and you have.
Twice.
Should we explain what we have first?
Please explain to the good people what amplification we are currently rocking and rolling with.
So Ashdown have recently released, or they announced a little while ago, the Rootmaster series, or the rejuvenated Rootmaster. They had it previously, and a successful series, and they've just kind of thrown in a few upgrades to it and given it a bit of a facelift. And we first came into contact with these when we were at Ashdown HQ, when we did our episode down there.
So long ago. But that was probably about a year ago now.
Oh, not quite. I think that was it must have been 9 months ago.
It was this year, wasn't it? But was it quite earlier on in the year? Because I think it was, because I had car problems in January, February, and I didn't go in my car, so I think it was then.
It was after your tour, wasn't it?
Oh, well, it was after my tour. That would have been March time.
I know. I don't know. Anyway,
I think it was no, it was before I went on tour. It was definitely before I went on tour.
Okay.
Anywho, we saw them for the first time at Ashdown, and I very vividly,
Jonny Dibble.
Oh my God, I can't say the word.
Christ, man.
I was very clear in my recollection that we both very much enjoyed these amps. I really, really enjoyed playing through those amps. I thought these both. We tried the 500 and is the 800 the biggest
800,
one? Yeah, and we were very impressed. Sounded so good, so good.
Class D amps, that's all I ever really gig, really. Yeah. And all I really enjoy. I don't want
because neither of us can afford or want to carry because believe me, if someone else was getting paid to carry my gear around, hello, Mezaboogie 400 Plus.
Absolutely. Hello. These amps are around, I think they're around £600, £650 for the 500 watts that we have got, which is, I've said it on the podcast before that normally it's like £1 per watt. So that's a little bit over, but you are getting some extra features in there as well that we will explain. You're getting all the classic Ashdown stuff in these. So you get the sub harmonics. That's like the weird octave thing that Ashdown are well known for, built-in compressor and drive control, and built-in customizable cab sim on the DI out. You can choose to have it totally off if you don't want it, or you can change it to a 10-inch speaker or 15-inch speaker. Tweeter control as well. I think thank goodness, like, yes, that's what I want. That's why I was even more super excited about these. For my kind of playing that I'm doing, I really like having that. And it's something that I've got on my fully digital dark glass head that I have a love-hate relationship with. And that is part of the relationship. So this kind of takes away the hate stuff of that digital element, puts it all together. So I was like, perfect, amazing. Cannot wait to hear how it sounds live. How did it sound live?
Really impressed. Before we go on, though, I'll just explain that me and you actually have different cabinets as well.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We both asked for the 410, but they weren't available. So you were sent a 210, and I was sent a 1x15. And I have almost no experience with 15-inch speakers. Don't own anything with a 15 in it. Don't use cab sims with 15s in them. I never really bothered. So I was like, okay, well, you know what? I'll give it a go. Tell you what, really impressed. Really impressed. I really liked gigging this amp. I gigged it in like a big wedding venue where all the amp needed to do was kind of fill in the sound on stage, because there was a PA, kind of big PA with subs and stuff, kind of filling the rest of the room. That sounded really good. I did my usual trick where I ran an amp sim from the Quad Cortex for the PA, and then I ran a separate feed separate to the amp for the on-stage amp, meaning the amp tone that was on stage was actually like, I was actually cutting low end, boosting loads of mid-range, just something that would sound really obvious without filling in any low end. Did that really well. And then the day after, I was gigging in a much smaller venue where basically we decided not to put bass through the PA. So I was just relying on this 500 watt head and 1x15 cab. And originally quite worried, because that's not a lot of stuff to move a lot of low end around with. And I was really pleasantly surprised. Nice and full. It's got that Ashdown sound where it's just this nice, thick, warm presence that's not too boomy, not too low-endy. There's a nice little bit of high end, but not loads. I haven't really been messing around with boosting the treble loads on the amp yet. Basically, I just plugged it in. Everything was at 12 o'clock, and I clicked the shape button. And then I was like, and I turned the compressor up to like 10 o'clock. Which meant I had to turn the volume up a little bit more because it did turn it down a tiny bit. And I was like, okay, that'll do. I mean, it was going from the Quad Cortex. The feed it was getting from the Quad Cortex basically was a compressor. Like an 1176 style compressor was just doing some compression on the way in for me. So I guess kind of it was being compressed, then compressed. But there's nothing I can do about that because the compressor inside the pedal board in Air Quartz is going to the amp sim as well, so be it really. But it took the drive sounds inside the Quad Cortex quite nicely. The only thing I think I'm going to do is, I don't know what your 210 cab has, but the 15 has got some sort of I don't know whether it's a tweeter button or something, but there is a button on the back that I haven't had a chance to look at that does something to the high register, I think. Just want to have a mess around with that because there wasn't loads of treble, and I think I might like a little bit more. So we're going to see what that switch does.
I mean, that's a common trait of a 1x15 as well. Like they are like traditionally bassier, less highs. And that's why people are really liking 12-inch speakers at the minute, because it's kind of that in between of the two. Because 10s is the opposite; it's a bit more highs and less lows. But I'm the same. I've always been a 10-inch. Always been a 10-inch guy, just with my speakers. And so the 2x10 will be a new venture for me. It's quite heavy, this 2x10, not going to lie.
Is it? Because my 1x15 isn't very light. Yeah, wow. Well, I've just looked online and it says it weighs 15 kilos, which... that
means nothing to me.
It just felt like nothing. Didn't really feel heavy at all.
It is a one-hander.
Oh, it's a very comfortable one-handed lift. The head is 3 kilos, by the way.
Yeah.
That's nothing. It the head weighs absolutely nothing. It's lovely.
Yeah. Well, thank you for telling me about your live experience. That fills me with faith. I've plugged it in and had a listen. I've plugged in the DI and had a listen through that in my room here. And
have you tried the cab sims?
Yeah. That's what I wanted to try straight away.
Okay, I've not done that part yet. I think I might do that. I'm thinking of doing that sort of like live on camera kind of thing. Nice. And being like, ooh.
Oh, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really, really nice. The other thing that I did, I just plugged it into my garage, but that was into my 410 that I had at the time. So I'm going to plug it all in tomorrow, I think. I'm going to, as you've given us a little detail about having it live, I'm going to show the people my kind of modded setup with it, if I can, if possible. Yes. If this will work with my microphone here. Bear with me 2 moments.
It does. I just looked, by the way. It does have it's an adjustable tweeter. So I left that in the default position, which may or may not have been on. So I'm going to try that at the weekend with see if I can get a bit more treble in there, because it was just a warm, big, punchy sound. Which for that line of gigging for weddings, the tweeter's not massively relevant. I would say if I got to like a rock gig, I'd want to turn it on.
Can you hear me okay?
I can, but you've got a lot quieter, so I would bear that in mind for those listening at home.
Okay, I will try and talk loud and boost it in the edit if I can.
Very well.
I basically rack mounted mine, but it's
nice
not
rack.
A rack. Thanks. It's not a rack mountable head really. So essentially, what I've done here, it is. Ta-da.
Oh, very much bigger than the amp itself.
Well, it's not too bad. It's a 3U, so there's a little bit of space here. So you could fit it in a 2U, that would be fine. But I want a bit of extra room, and I'll show why. So this is all bolted down, so it's not moving anywhere. And I can see it all, which is great. It's in this lovely carry case, which I got for £20. Lovely.
I see.
I can carry it all with one hand, which is great. Because the only thing I don't like about the head is that it doesn't come with a case or anything like that.
No, so I took mine, including the cab. I took it to the gig in the box it arrived in.
Yeah, and I hate that.
It did look like crap because I had to unpack it at the venue. But also I just didn't want to scratch it up because it's a lovely head and cab, and I don't want them to get damaged.
They are stunning looking.
Really nice. The 1x15 looks wonderful as well.
So essentially, what I've got in the back is a power strip put in, which is powering the head. It's powering a phone charger, and it's also powering my little. The light's probably not going to show. I've got a little recording device. And that's all velcroed in. So it's all
tell the lovely people what recording device you've got there, because mine is not powered. It's I'm using the wiretap now, so I guess I actually could stick the wiretap in the back of it, but yeah,
but then you wouldn't be able to hit it, I suppose.
No, but before I go on stage, it has a 10-hour memory card, so
that's good. So this one is it's a Zoom R4 multi-track, so it can. It's just like a DI XLR microphone recorder, but it's got some built-in preamps and stuff. So it's got a noise gate built in, and it's got you can add reverb and stuff like that if you want. I'm not using any of that. I'm just going direct in with a split signal from the back of the head. So then I've just got an exposed little DI cable here that the front of the house plugs into. And essentially, it's powered by the power strip as well, so I don't have to worry about batteries or anything like that.
Very nice. So
I can just press record on the back if I want to record some tones whilst I'm playing live for content and stuff. Love it. The thing I like about this as well is that all my cables are plugged in, ready to go. So
I like that's what I like about that the most as well. Yeah. That's very cool. Yeah.
So power cable is already plugged in. I just have to go pull it out and plug it in, and also my speaker is plugged in. So then I just pull that out and plug that in as well. So everything's kind of ready to go and secure and easy to transport. So it's kind of ticking all the boxes. Very, very happy. Yet to gig it or leave the house with it properly yet. But chuffed. Thus far, chuffed. We'll no doubt report back, and maybe he'll bring along some tones in the future of some stuff that we record at some gigs, perhaps. That would be a lot of fun to put our money where our mouths are.
Absolutely. I'm equally chuffed. That's something I really want to start doing, especially now I've got the wiretap where I can basically capture a clean DI of an entire gig. I really want to start then reamping at home with things I'm trying and sort of have basically post content where like you'll see the split screen will be on the top, will be the gig. So you'll hear a bit of drums and all that sort of stuff. But then underneath, I'll be turning the dials and stuff of the actual the product, like an amp or something like that I'm reamping at home. That's
such a good way to demo.
That's something I want to try and do as well, because I think that would be quite cool. The problem is, I keep making mistakes while I'm playing live.
Fuck.
Shit.
What first issue? Skill.
Yeah, literally, exactly. At home, I can make it up and redo another take.
And it's great for doing that. It's essentially like a looper, that you've got there.
Yeah, well, it is. It's a big 10-hour looper. It's really good. The other little trick I noticed you can do, and this is really clever. You could do this with any sort of looper though, but play for like 4 bars, stop recording. If you click the button, there's a little play button. If you click play, it will just play the last thing you recorded on loop. It's not like a looper; it'll just loop the last thing. So I do that, and then while that's playing, I go over to the amp and then sort of tweak a few things if I need to for the room and stuff like that.
That's
and then,
very cool.
Or while the drummer, if the drummer wants to sound check and we want to hear like bass and drums, I'll hit that going, and he'll groove along to that. So what I'm doing is I'm not playing, and then I can sort of like boost mid range, cut low end, all that sort of stuff, and I don't have to sit there and play while I'm doing it. So that's a nifty little feature. I quite like that.
That is such a good idea.
Yeah.
And I know like I suppose a normal looper can do that though, can't it?
Oh yeah, of course a normal looper could do that. Yeah, depending on the position of where you put the looper in the chain.
Yeah. Oh, I'm tempted to do that, I've got a very small looper. Like that would be very cool for tweaking stuff. That's a great idea. Great, you're full of great ideas.
Thank you very much. And you could do that at home, demoing stuff, because you could just
I do.
You could set a looper running and then just have the camera pointing at the pedal and turn it on and mess with stuff.
That's what I do now for like especially when they're a bit more complicated for pedal demos. It's just so much easier because it's just the same thing you're playing, and you can, if you're doing comparisons of things as well, like it's easier for that. But
absolutely.
often using my £20 looper pedal. It's great.
Hell yeah.
Hells yeah. Well, Chris, we've reached the end of this very podcast. Thank you very much, everyone, for rating us 5 stars on your listening platform of choice, be that Spotify, be that Apple. Leave us a review. It really, really helps us. It's something to do with algorithms to help us reach more people. More people, bigger pod, bigger egos, and that's what we want. We want to sell out if possible, please. That'd be
absolutely great. Manscaped, if you're listening. No, don't do that. I've already got one. Thank you. I don't need another one.
Thanks for that mental image.
You're very welcome.
If you want to go and follow us on Instagram, you should definitely do so. You can contribute to the episodes, asking questions and having your say about things, and just generally keeping up to date with the pod and everything related to us. You can do that at In The Pocket Pod over on Instagram. We do have TikTok as well, and we do need to get on better at TikTok.
Yeah, we do, don't we? I need to go back to posting the stuff I post on Instagram on the other short form platforms, because I just haven't been doing that.
Yeah, no, I'm really rubbish at that.
Yeah.
There we go. Speaking of those platforms, Chris, where can people find you?
You can find me literally everywhere under That Guy on Bass. If you wouldn't mind, you can find me on the good old YouTube as well. If you wouldn't mind dropping me a little subscribe on there, that'd be very nice. There's no videos. There's no videos yet, but there are videos. There are videos coming as soon as I possibly can. And I've already got 100 subscribers, which I'm very, 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 very happy with, actually. I was over the moon, got 100 subscribers, and I've not started trying yet, so I think that's really good. So yeah, if you want to drop me a little subscribe on there, that'd be very nice. Everywhere, That Guy on Bass. Jonny, where can the good people find you if they haven't found you already?
Incredible. Well, I'll put my address down below so you can come and find me. Perfect.
I will dox you in the comments.
You can find me at Jonny Dibble on Instagram and on YouTube, and it's Jonny Dibble Bass on TikTok, I think. I might look at changing that. But some other bugger called Jonny Dibble, who else would have that name, honestly?
It was actually me. It's just a burner account to troll.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
I would love, if I had the time, I'd love to do that. Just make a burner account and repost all your videos, but just like pitch them a little bit so they're out of tune.
Well, some people do repost my videos.
Some people steal your jokes as well.
Oh my god,
steal mine as well, as we know. But yeah, oh well,
little buggers. Anyway,
little cheeky monkey.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Tatty bye.